Eileo guys, and welcome back. So for today's account review, I have OmaroRay's account. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong or incorrectly. I just want to say Omaro's Ray, but it's OmaroRay. Gotta get it straight. They haven't hit 45 yet, so this isn't going to be too much of an in-depth review because I don't want someone focusing on too much on the game when you need to be focusing on key points of the game before you get into other points. If not, you're just going to have a bad time because you're going to be like, well, I need to do this, and this, but I also need to do this. Like, it's just overwhelming. But anyways, Omaro, I already went ahead and I checked out your gems. From what I could see, there's a lot of mons on a broken set, and there was a lot of mons on sets, but from what I could tell with their sets, they are pretty much proper. Proper as in the term of saying, from what they seem like you've put some thought into it, so I didn't see anything crazy like double crit rate or like a light Nike with triple HP or something crazy like that. So it seems like you've maybe seen the videos, or you've done some reading, or you read the skill descriptions. But the only thing that I did want to bring up to you though is that, let me go over here anyways, but one thing I want to bring up to you though is that I feel like you're doing a little bit too much right now. Really, we need to focus on getting your golem teams set in stone, getting those mons that you run in golems up to level 60, Evo 2 if possible, with 4, 5-star, 6-star gems on them before I would give you advice on like this stuff right here, like Sura. I mean, you might be building a water Sura, which is perfectly fine. You might be working on a Yuki, a Banshee, a Neza, a Tiger, Tigger, whatever the heck you want to call, and all of these Nat 3s. That's fine. I know you want to maybe fill out your Astro guide to get more Astro gems, but right now you're sitting at 91k gold, and I'm kind of thinking here part of it isn't due to your gems. If it was due to your gems, like just to your gems, okay, perfectly fine. But I'm thinking part of this isn't due to your gems. Part of it is because you're investing in all of these mons that you're hoping to evolve at some point in time. And don't get me wrong, definitely evolve them at some point in time, but right now we need to focus on golems first, because if you're not doing golems as fast as possible, you're not earning money to then raise other mons for other golems to earn more gems, to raise other mons for other golems to get more money to raise these other mons that you're evoing. So do keep that in mind. Again, this is just advice, you don't have to take it, but you're stretching out very little resources that you have right now, which you will have time to do this. Trust me, you will have time to do this, but even a week or two of you focusing on these mons will do a great job with you. But anyways, before I go on like an entire hour tangent, I went ahead and picked out some golem teams for you as well that should definitely help you, and you only need to clear one more. Yeah, you only need to clear Hades, so I definitely hope this helps. I went ahead and start off with B8 because B8 is obviously the moneymaker in this game, and your team is going to be fairly simple. Again, this is all just advice, but feel free to use it, feel free to use some of it, feel free to use none of it. It is really up to you, but I would run Water Mona, of course. You do have a Light Purse, you have a Light Artemis, and you do have a Dark Shadow as well, but I would run your Purse, Shadow, I believe I saw, where's she at? Did I pass her already? You do have an On My OG as well, and she does have a square slot, and you could run Purse in here if you want. You could take out Purse. You could run Light Artemis if you want, because it's nice that you pulled her now, because she's actually very useful for you right now at this point in the game. But you could run Light Artemis in here instead. You could run Light Purse. If you don't want to do On My OG, you could take out On My OG and go ahead and do Light Artemis. Personally, though, I would at least keep On My OG for right now. Shadow, he's just there as SP battery to help supply Mona, and of course your Light Purse, and then Artemis with more SPs to get their 5-star skills off. And that's pretty much your B8 team. If your run times are more than a minute, definitely tweak your team and try and get B8 to close to a minute as possible, if not below that. But below that, it might come a little bit later into the game. But if you feel like your team is lacking, or maybe someone's animation is a little bit too slow for you, feel free to trade one of them out and make another Mona. And that's pretty much your B8 team. Let's go over here to your B7 squad though. For B7, what I honestly would recommend for you is pretty similar to what you have right here. Obviously no Arthur or Pandora. I wouldn't even put in Wood Garuda because Wood Garuda is a Sea Striker, so his damage isn't really going to scale all that great with this type of content. So you could definitely run your Wood Mushi if you wanted to. You could bring in your Light Artemis once again. You could bring in Shadow, and you could bring in Light Purse. If you want to do like this kind of setup, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to use one of these, you could put in Banshee for now. Again, that's fine. Banshee's going to be able to get the SP up from her first move and plus Shadow to get defense down on the whole entire squad. Honestly though, I know you might like Wood Mushi, but I would probably take him out because you do have the lovely benefit of having some AoE damage. So having Shadow as a SP battery for everyone else, that means Banshee gets her defense down off really quick. That means Light Purse can get her shock down really quick. But it's really going to come up to what type of gems that they have on them, and them being at least Evo 2 minimum to really take the best benefit of that. But in the meantime, until you build them up, you could bring Wood Mushi in there. If you wanted to, you could bring in Wood Stormbeak, but I'm not a big fan of Wood Stormbeak. I would just run the setup like this instead, because Wood Stormbeak, I mean, none of the Stormbeaks are that great. But that's pretty much it for your B7 team. For your B9 team, this one's pretty similar as well. There's a little bit of difference. You do have a Fire Mowgli, hands down Fire Mowgli. Mowglis are just absolutely amazing. Period. So definitely Fire Mowgli. Of course you could bring Shadow in as another SP battery. Of course you could bring Light Purse in as just a wave clearer. Of course you could bring in Light Artemis as well. And feel free to bring in Light Arthur. I mean, not Light Arthur, but Fire Arthur, because he does have that defense down for his 5-star skill. So Shadow can be an SP battery to get his defense down off as quick as possible. Very similar to Banshee. And of course, if he has defense down, you have Purse over here with Shock if you don't want to do the defense down. And you have Light Artemis over here if you wanted to run it more with a fire-based team though. There's not really many fire mons that you have to work with, unfortunately. Like, Fire Valk isn't going to do much good here. Wukong isn't going to do much good. You could run it with Zubaji. The only problem with Zubaji, though, is that she is single target only. So your time might vary a little bit. But you can use any of these mons with a pretty similar team, whatever floats your boat, just to get through B9. You won't do this forever, but until you end up with hopefully a Fire Jacka, this is what you have to work with. This is it. Once you get Fire Jacka, you got Shadow. Congratulations, you're done with all of the golems. You're done with all of them. Last and definitely not least though is your B10 team. I believe this was your B10 team before, which actually have to commendate you on being able to clear B10 out with a couple level 50s and a level 60 Mushi. But obviously this isn't optimal, so like you said on Discord, if it takes you 3 minutes to do B10, I don't recommend doing it. If B10 takes you guys more than even 2 minutes, I don't recommend doing it. There's no point. You're wasting more energy and more time than what's needed. Like, if you can get 2 minutes when you first begin and slowly taper it off to maybe like a minute and 45, a minute and 40, a minute and 35, perfectly fine. But if you're doing 2 minutes and your team is capped out, you don't need to be doing B10. You need to get help. You need to get help. It shouldn't take that long. But for your B10 team, your real B10 team, I would just do Light Nike because you already have her. She's already Evo 3. You could do like Kokomaru instead, but you have Light Nike. Light Nike has a super evolution. There's really no reason as to why you couldn't use her. So definitely Light Nike. I was struggling with trying to find out some good wave clearers for you, because you could bring Light Artemis in there, but the problem is that if they don't target Nike, they're going to target your Light Artemis, and she's probably going to die. The same problem with Purse, unless you're running like a full light comp, they're going to die. Dark Man is going to look at one of those two, bad RNG, crit you off on like the first or second round. They're done for the whole run. You have a useless mon because they're dead, not because they're bad mons, but because they're dead. So that's why I'm not recommending them right now. So definitely stick with Light Nike as a wave clearer. I mean, Shadow has attack up. Shadow could help you clear out waves and give other mons SP, but at this point in time, I would not recommend him either in there. I would bring in someone like OmaroRay's, like I mentioned earlier. Somebody that hits really, really hard, and she does have what? She has double hunter? If I can get it to show. Yep, she has double hunter. So if you have her even on an intuition set or a broken set even, she has double hunter, so that should really help you out with wave clearing. And if you need some type of heals with this sort of setup, then who do you have to heal with? You do have Pandora, which, let me take a look at her skills. Not the best in the world. Not the best in the world, but it could probably get you by. You also have a Fire Bast. You could bring in Siren if you want. Heck, you could bring in Dark Siren if you want. If you needed some type of healer for it, you can bring in Dark Siren. You could bring in Water Siren. You could bring in any healer that you want. And then, of course, a Sapper, because you don't have any Sappers built up at all. Which, if you're going to do B10 at a normal time, then you need Sappers. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. But this is your ideal team of having a tank, a wave clearer, a healer, at least in the beginning if you need it, and then a Sapper. Now, once you get more gems and once you get your mons raised up a bit more, you could take out your Siren or whoever that you're having to do the heals, and you could bring in another Sapper if you want, which should decrease your time once again. And eventually the goal is to wean you off Light Nike, so Light Nike will one day be gone. And once Light Nike is gone, hopefully you'll have even a Fire Jacka. Fire Jacka would be a big help for you right here, but you could run Fire Jacka, throw in Shadow and Fire Jacka. Congratulations, you have 2 wave clearers, you have 2 sappers. Congratulations, your B10 team is done. Like, it's just that simple. If you didn't want to use Shadow in the future, you could always, if you pulled, I mean, you could run triple Wet Mihos if you wanted to, but if you end up pulling better sappers, I know you have a Wood Purse, but she only has sap for 1 turn, so it's really up to you. Not 1 turn, but she only has it on 1 skill, so it's really up to you about how you want to use that. But in the future, at least, you could definitely run a Fire Jacka if you have a Siphon set and 3 sappers. That's what I do, and congratulations once again. You're like done with B10 until you get like a full light team, which I'm not going to go into, but you can run a full light team as well and get through it as well. But right now we just need to get you into it, and these teams should definitely help you get into it. Once again, a lot of these can translate over to dragons. Do I recommend you doing dragons right now? If you can, try and get up to dragons, maybe B3, B4, see if you can get like a poor man siphon set. It doesn't matter if it's like triple defense, triple flat defense siphon set. It doesn't really matter, but get like a poor man siphon set, so once Drakka comes back, if you can get a Fire Drakka, you could put him on a siphon set, at least for the story. If not, you can always put the siphon set on. You have a Sarah, you have a Tina, you have plenty of mons that you can take advantage of the siphon sets and be perfectly fine. But that's pretty much it. That's all that I have to give you right now, because I don't want to give you too much. But you addressing these mons and leveling the mons that I've given you as kind of like a template for all your golem teams is going to help you in the long run. Tower of Chaos should no longer be an issue, especially if you have your purse at level 60 Evo 2. You have Shadow at level 60 Evo 2 minimum. Light Artemis is kind of optional because I feel like she kind of tapers off later in the game. Like, she's not useless, but she becomes very, very much less useful when you have other mons built for whatever content that you're doing, because they're not wasting their elemental edge on like a dark mon. And the other mons might be a dark type anyway, so they benefit from the additional crit damage that Light Artemis doesn't benefit from. And stuff like Fire Mowgli and Fire Arthur, those two would again help you out. Drakka's always amazing to have. Water OmaroRay's always great to have, especially for clan versus clan teams and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all that I have to give you right now. I definitely hope this video helps. I know it's a lot, but if you just trust my advice, or you trust the advice of anyone that you see comment on a video or tell you in Discord that isn't trolling, I know they like to troll, but that isn't trolling. You should go pretty far. I mean, you have a light purse. You have at least an Evo 2 shadow. Your account's pretty good. There is a lot of potential as long as you take the right steps to do it. But that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.